What up, Raider Nation? Ooh, we back. We back with another edition of the Smokeout Hour. We got special guests in the house today, too. We got my brother from another mother, Raider Twan, Mr. Brown Crackers himself. What up, Twan? What up, Twan?
Hey, what's good with it, man? You know what time it is. We got to break down this.
Man. We chilling.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How you doing, man? Long time no see on this channel, but hey, always good to see a familiar face. And Twan, man, you know the past right now.
Hey, man, it's always good to talk football with the bros. You know what I'm saying? So
yes, sir.
That's what it is.
Yeah, let me get to the chat real quick. Let's see what's up with people in the chat. What's up, AP? APDDT, what's cracking? Joseph. We got Joseph Barger in the house. Yeah, man, we got a lot of people up in here real quick. You know, we got 33 in the building right now. We just getting into the building, but hey, let's just settle in, say what's up to the people in the chat right now, and we'll get right to it. I mean, it's in the title. I mean, we're trying to predict, the final 53 on the roster. You know what I mean? See what's the price cuts. A lot of guys are set in stone, but there's going to be those final roster cuts that it kind of made it difficult on Sunday. You know what I mean? To kind of pick and choose between these guys that were on the fence. But yeah, let me get to it real quick. This the chat. El Jefe Raider, Natural Born Raider Podcast. Richard C in the building. Ray Love, Sam Tonka. Salute to everybody, man. Yes, sir. Daniel Berry was cracking. Anthony Estrada. My 2 cents. What up? All eyes. Yes, sir. Bushido Brown. What's cracking, man? We got CH Barcelo. Oh, I think I got that right. Arkham. What up, Arkham? John B. Real Talk Raider Nation. What's up? Everybody, man. Everybody, thank you guys for being here. Sure, the 42 up in the building. Just getting up in here. But yeah, we're gonna get right to it, man. Twan, so how you think, man? How did you see Sunday's game, man? I know I wasn't Saturday's game, Friday's game, actually. Damn, man, I've been on a boat all weekend. Forgive me. I mean, I've been on a boat all fucking damn weekend, so I'm losing track of time. But I did see the game. I did get to see the game. You know what I mean? I got to see it from my damn phone, but I got to see it. You know what I mean? And it's just some guys for sure, popped out on screen for sure, man. But what do you think, man? What do you think about Friday's game?
And to what you were saying, man, it was about time, man. I was hoping that some of these guys would actually make a name for themselves. The preseason is a time, I always talk about it, when the combine comes up, but this is another time where, this is your opportunity to make your money. You know what I'm saying? Especially for some of these guys that are undrafted, low drafted, whatever the situation may be. They know what's going on. They know they're on the bubble. They know how many people are for surely going to make this team and how many people in their room, that there might be a spot for. And all 3 of those games, you gotta get your name called, and not just in a bad way, but in a good way. Last game, to be honest with you, I was very positive about it in the sense of who was playing. The Niners decided that they wanted to have their starters out there. We pretty much had our bottom of the barrel, our third stringers and our fourth stringers out there.
Yeah, and none of our even second stringers were out there.
Yeah, exactly. And it came out to a tie game. Like it should have been. I'm not, as much as I'm a Raider fan, sometimes I got to take off the Raider cap and be real about it. It should have been a blowout. You're telling me their starters were out there, and they it wasn't just one series. They had multiple series. And I also, I think what was the first series that they came out, we pushed them to 3. They didn't even punch in 7. So stuff like that is positive.
Picking off Purdy too. Yeah. Chris Smith Jr., a guy that was is in that kind of trying to make the team. That was nice too. That was for sure nice. Yeah, I like that one.
So there's some positives there. Of course, we can we can always complain and be negative about certain things, but like I said, like there were some guys that actually made their money, and that's ultimately what I'm hopeful about these guys. You know, the guys that are on the bubble. You just go out there and get your name called in the right way. You know what I'm saying? Of course, there's some other guys in, on the roster, and we'll talk about that as we go through the roster. You know, some of these guys they didn't get their name called, and they should have got their name called. You know what I'm saying? Whether they were a player that's been on the team for a couple of years now, and you know what I'm saying, should know what they doing and didn't do what they were supposed to be doing, or the other way. So. But ultimately, I was very positive about the game being tied with them putting out their starters.
For sure. Yeah, man. And shit, we could get right even into it, man. Like to me, or like the things that are for sure. You know what I mean? The quarterback position. You got your starter right now because they named the starter. I know that it doesn't sound like we're set in stone to where we're at because it could flip flop at any moment if we start off bad or whatever like that. But as of right now, though, our two quarterbacks, on the roster are going to be Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah.
I think the third quarterback for that doesn't count against the roster. That's the kind of the I don't know, man. I don't know who's gonna get that third spot, but to me, I kind of like what Bradley showed on Saturday, on Friday. I like what Bradley showed. You know what I mean? The connection with him and. You know what I mean? And Tyreek McAllister, you know what I mean? That was pretty cool. You know what I mean? And he was showing some grit out there, man. He was taking, I know on one of those goal line situations, they didn't score, but you could tell he was taking control of the offense. You know what I mean? He was out there taking control of the offense, trying to, getting them around. So I like that about him. And then especially, he's young. He's an undrafted guy. I think AP likes those type of guys. I think they might give him the nod over Peterman. I just think that Peterman's been here in and out. And I just think the Anthony Brown situation where, the way he looked in that second preseason game, they had no, I kind of like, he kind of put himself in a corner where they made a move just to push Bradley this weekend, kind of. That was kind of what it seemed like to me. But I think Bradley's kind of secure in that position. What do you think?
So you have him secure in what position again? I'm sorry, my Bradley.
Okay. Oh shit! Like, what is this right here? Look at my nephew right here. So I guess they voted that rule today. See, I was telling you I barely got back into town today.
Quarterback.
So from my understanding, the NFLPA voted to overturn the rule to emergency QB now counts against the 53, if I heard right. So that might mean. The thing right there is that, see, now if they hold that third quarterback, which I kind of think they do just because of the situation that we're in. So I think that we're one of the teams that might carry the three quarterbacks. And that's just going to be, you see, now with that, I'm going to have to look at my rest of my list that I made right here and see who's going to have to be cut out. Because if that's going to count, which I do think that they're going to carry that third quarterback, and if it counts against the 53, one of these guys can maybe now looking, was looking in for me, but now is on the outside looking in. So, okay, for sure. So that's interesting.
To be honest with you, I was and I'm kind of agreeing with you in the sense of Carter Bradley. I liked what Carter Bradley brought to the table. You could tell that he was, he was managing. You know what I'm saying? He was really that signal caller. I'm not saying that he's going to be a starter for us or anything like that. I think he has some room to grow, and ultimately, I think, unfortunately, if it was left up to me, Carter Bradley would be that third quarterback. But I think with this staff, they're gonna lean towards Peterman, who's a vet. You know what I'm saying? That's been in the league for a minute. That's also been in this offense for a while. Those are things that are actually going well for him. But if you really ask me who outplayed who, I think Carter Bradley outplayed, Peterman. With this situation, I'm going to disagree with you in the sense of carrying three quarterbacks. I think they might just carry just two, and it's going to be, Minshew and AOC. And then, they might try to put those guys on the practice squad, Peterman and Carter Bradley. But I don't think they're going to be too heartbroken if someone decides to take Peterman off with the practice squad. You know what I'm saying? They might feel some type of way if if Bradley gets plucked off, because I think Bradley, with every team in the NFL, there's always that one quarterback that you kind of like, take as, okay, he's our project guy. We're going to try to stash him. Maybe he'll groom into a starter or possibly a really solid backup for us on cheap, on a cheap account. So that's how I see it playing out with the quarterbacks. I think it'll just be two. Because again, also with the same thing, I'm knocking on wood at the same time, but I think generally these two quarterbacks have been healthy for the most part. It's not like we have a quarterback that's, injury prone, you know what I'm saying? And then we have to really worry about having a quarterback. I think we could get by with those two quarterbacks.
Okay. I feel you there. Okay, so NFLPA will turn the rule, called it the way of legal stashing. Way of legal stashing. That's what the NFLPA was calling it. A way of legal stashing a player. Okay. So I just I mean, that could very well be true, because there is a lot of spots where I think it's probably would be better off if we do that and we just keep like Carter Bradley maybe on the practice squad, to where if he's needed, maybe in the next week they could bring him up. Because I don't see a team kind of like going out there and grabbing him. I think he performed well on Friday, but not enough for, I think, maybe a team to grab them and putting them on their roster. Like, so I think they could stash Bradley maybe as that that practice squad QB. I mean, but then again, it's just sometimes you just never know. You know what I mean? Because with the way the concussion protocols and just all of the injury stuff like that, it's just it's just always a thin line. You know what I mean? Right there, and a lot of teams will choose to carry three. You know what I mean? Which I think last year, the Raiders did use that to their advantage because of that, like the way that they're saying that legal stashing kind of type thing, where they kind of had that's the reason why they were able to give Hoyer a damn contract, you know what I mean, and just stash him back there, you know what I mean. So I mean, I don't know, I don't disagree with the rule, but I just think that it's hopefully they make the right decision, because it's tough, with all the injury stuff like nowadays, all the injury, just the protocols and all of that stuff. So, but I tend to, I'll probably might change my mind on that a little bit. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Maybe two, and keep one guy on the practice squad just in case, and maybe call him up the next week, but keep him ready though. Keep him ready on the practice squad. But Peterman, just I don't know, man. I just don't like how Peterman. Yeah. He's been here 3 regimes, never been able to keep a spot. I'm just tired of seeing him in the Raider uniform, to be honest. But I just think that, okay, oh shit, we got somebody else backstage too. Got half of Raider Nation Live in the building. What's cracking? Gravy in the building. What's up, Gravy?
Hey, Gabe. I'm saying this jokingly, but I think we still got a third quarterback if you want to go that route. If all hell breaks loose, we could have Jacoby Myers. You know what I'm saying? Take a couple of snaps.
There you go. There you go. But hey, who else got Anthony Brown just got cut twice for the second time in 2 weeks.
Really?
That's correct. That sucks. Yeah.
He deserves it.
But
two of my favorite guys, two of my favorite people. How could I deny being on the show? I had to interrupt.
Yes, sir. No, hey. We just getting started. We just on the first topic too, the quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Part of the 53. So we're talking about, obviously the 2 quarterbacks are there. You got Aiden, you got Gardner, the starter. But so there's a new rule that came out today, Gravy, I guess. So they're not allowed to keep a third quarterback as an emergency quarterback and it not affect the 53-man roster. So now if you keep a third quarterback, on game day, that counts towards the 53. So it's not like last year. I guess the NFLPA ruled that today. And so do you think that they carry 3? Or do you think they just carry 2 and keep like a Carter Bradley or a Peterman on the practice squad? Or what do you think?
I didn't know about that rule. I didn't know about
Just
that.
today. It was just today.
I like that. I like that. But it's not affecting the 53.
Oh, it will affect the 53 now. Last year it didn't. Remember, that's why we were able to have Hoyer on the field. You know what I mean? As an emergency quarterback on Sundays.
You gotta keep Peterman. You gotta keep Peterman because he's the one with the knowledge. He's the vet of everybody.
Peterman. So you would keep Peterman as the third stringer, like on the 53-man roster. You would keep him on or as a practice squad guy, or would you have them out there on Sundays dressing up
as the third guy?
Okay. But the only thing there now that
that's super young though, Gabe.
I know, but the only thing is that now that it affects the 53, that's going to take a spot from another position for sure. That wasn't anticipated, you know what I mean? Because there was more. I think that spot was more anticipated for another guy, and with that rule today,
if that's the situation, Gabe. If that's a situation where you have to decide between a quarterback, Peterman or Bradley, and a linebacker or someone like that, a defensive lineman, then just keep the two we have. You know what I mean?
Because those guys that are on the fringe, I think are like a guy in. Like Wilkerson, like McAllister, he broke out, but he's going to be on that fringe. You know what I mean? That's why he was out there so much on Friday. You know what I mean? There's Zach Gentry, there's Cole Fotheringham. Like these are the guys that are kind of like on that fence. So it's keeping either a third quarterback like that or choosing to keep him maybe on the practice squad and still giving one of those guys a spot. Or you're possibly taking a spot from one of those guys because you're choosing to keep that third quarterback.
That's why I'm more into just keeping two quarterbacks because I feel like there's so much other talent. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking more on the defensive side. There's some talent that technically you probably cover. I'm just gonna say as an example, you only have 3 linebackers, but there's that one linebacker that I'm like, hey, we gotta keep him because he'll get snatched. And I think he's, so I'm like I said, I'm fine with having 2 quarterbacks in the sake of having an extra spot for somebody, in another room.
Okay.
Me too.
So there we go. Okay, so I would say 2. I would say keep the 2. Like I do kind of like because of that new rule, just because of like that did make a big difference to me because I was thinking of, keeping that third guy as Carter Bradley. You know what I mean? That emergency quarterback as Carter Bradley. But hey, just because I think he's just younger, and to me, I've never liked Peterman, so but that's the only reason. But
and let's be honest, Gabe, and I know you're trying to move on, but let's be honest. If we cut Peterman, who's actually gonna pick him up?
For sure. That's why I'm saying, like, I think either one of these guys you could probably stash on the practice squad. I just think if you have to.
Not even on the practice squad. Like if we let him like completely go, who's gonna actually pick up Peterman?
Oh, so you're saying like if it happens to rise, like if the opportunity happens to rise, you can probably pick him up off the street again. If you have to.
We can get him off the couch. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going. I know Peterman. He's probably going to want to stay physically ready for when he gets the call. So, hey, go sit on the couch because I don't think anybody don't think anybody else in the league is really looking at Peterman like that. So if it really broke down to Carter Bradley ain't ready to to start for us or whatever, he's still in the development situation, and we really need a veteran to come in. Okay, Peterman, get off your couch. You know what I'm saying? Do a couple of push-ups and get on the Spirit flight to Vegas. Like that situation.
Fucking Spirit.
Actually, I would be looking. I would be looking at somebody else instead of Peterman.
Send him on the Greyhound.
Anybody else
out there? On the Greyhound. I'm sending him on the Greyhound. Fuck that. I ain't even giving him a plane.
And I agree with you.
We don't have to pick up.
We don't have to, but I'm just saying, if all hell break loose and they feel like that's the safety blanket for us, then I don't want to waste a spot on them.
if we're jacked, then just put in AOC. He's just as bad.
I feel you.
Peterman, AOC. Peterman, AOC, what Kuka would say, same thing.
No, there's no way. There's no fucking way. Nah. I'm not disrespecting AOC that much. That means Peter. If they were equal, that means because supposedly there wasn't that much separation. To a lot of people, there's not that much separation between AOC and Minshew. So that means them Peterman damn well might be starting. So I'm not disrespecting AOC that much.
And I had this. Kukev, as much as I love you, bro, I disagree with you because if the competition wasn't so close, Minshew still wouldn't have this short leash that he has. It seems like what AP's trying to do is if the record don't look right in 4 games, he might
gonna cover his ass, man. Like we talked about. He's gonna cover his ass up because he needs to. He promised and stuck with this guy, and he thinks, the first thing that Minshew does wrong, everybody's gonna start saying, "Where's AOC at?" But if AOC messes up,
for sure.
We ain't gonna be screaming for Minshew to come in. Ain't nobody gonna be screaming for Minshew to come in.
I am. Shit. I am because if any of these motherfuckers is struggling, if anybody is struggling, like say like Minshew has a couple games where they're good, but then he has a couple games where he's looking bad, I'm gonna be the first one to be like, hey, put in AOC. And if AOC has a couple games where he looks good and then he start looking bad, I'm gonna be like, hey, put fucking what's his name back in, because it's just, I mean, the consistency is going to be like, because I think these guys we're too close together. Like that's the way it seems. You know what I mean? Like as far as the way they make it seem, like. So I just think that it's not going to change during the season. So like if you see one guy struggling, and you've heard, like you kind of hear it in the way AP talks when he kind of even named the starter. Like he was like, we want him to start off the season because we think he gives us a better opportunity to get us off the like, better to a quick start. So, but that's why he doesn't say like, oh, like, because there's plenty of opportunities where you'll hear a coach like, oh, he's our starter. You know what I mean? He's going to be our starter for the season unless something happens. Like he kind of leaves it open already from now. Like he's saying he gives us a better opportunity to start off the season, but you could tell like he's not. He's directly kind of like, directly or indirectly or whatever, however you want to see it. But he's making a point there that like at any point this could change.
Yeah,
if it's not a quick start.
He's not sold on it.
He wouldn't do that if he would have named AOC the starter. I guarantee that, bro. I guarantee that he wouldn't be saying that shit. He wouldn't say that.
I mean,
why is Minshew such on a short leash when he won the competition? There shouldn't be no debate.
It's because I don't think we don't know the parameters of the competition. Like, was it that close that, like you're saying that he might not have said that if AOC, but who knows, bro? Like that's why I'm saying like it's so close in the competition, and that's why I think that's the way they saw it, to where it's anybody. Like if you struggle, we're gonna go to the next guy. We're gonna go to the best guy that gives us the best opportunity to win at that given time. You know what I mean? So I just think that's the direction that they're trying to go in. Is like if you're playing bad, bro, we're gonna go to this guy. If you're playing bad, we're gonna go back to this guy. So it's like I just think I don't think it's that, because then again, I don't think we could be pickers and choosers, kind of like, because he won the job. Like because if we want to say real favoritism, he would have just straight out said, I don't care if the job was close. He was just gonna give the job straight out to AOC. You know what I mean? So I just think like if it was real favoritism, that would have been the situation. I just think that it's so close that they can go to any situation at any time. But I do think that Minshew does give us the better chance to start off quick, and he will.
Exactly. Absolutely. I think the same way as you. Finally, you thought that way.
But that's what I would say 2 quarterbacks. So 2, And then now the running back position, which that one's, I mean, some people will kind of say maybe it's
You're
like
doing 53. You're doing the
I think it's easy for
53
me too.
up the rumper. Okay, I see you. I
Yeah.
see what you guys are going and everything.
So right there on the outs for quarterbacks, so we keep two, I would say two, Garden and Aiden, and then on the out looking in, maybe Carter Brad and Nathan Petermans, right? So two so far. We got two on our roster. So our running backs for me, I'll say Zamir, of course. We got Madison, Amir Abdullah, just because I think he sticks on this roster for this mere fact that he's good on special teams. He can do a lot of little things, you know what I mean? And he's still effective. I think he's going to be the most effective guy, like maybe on third down. So, but as the fourth running back, I just don't see. I think they've seen a lot of McCormick and Britton Brown. They haven't seen enough of Dylan Lobby to where they keep Dylan Lobby. For me.
Plus he fucked up.
Yeah, I just think that they want. I think they might want to see a little bit more because he's this year's draft pick, and I don't think that Sincere or Britton Brown separated themselves enough. You know what I mean? To like where if they should be in they're what, both in their third year, Britton Brown and Sincere now in their third year, both of them. So I just think that I would go toward.
Between both of them, 0 rushing yards in the NFL in 3 years each.
So I would go Lobby, but hey, that's just me. Just because I've been on Lobby, but I just think because of the draft, they actually drafted him this year. So I think that
he was drafted in the 6th round, Gabe.
Oh, so you're saying he's going to make the 53?
Yeah, Dylan, and I think out of and on the out looking in will be Sincere and Britton Brown.
Okay.
I got. You get pulled from a game. He never went back in that game when he fumbled. He got pulled.
Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That affected, and I know seeing AP's gestures that he doesn't like turnovers. He doesn't. He's like me. He hates turnovers. And even though it's good that he did it in a preseason game instead of a real game, because that'll be worse. But if you're like the leashes that we're throwing out here, if you have that leash and you get pulled and don't go back in and get that leash a little bit extended, usually you throw the running back in, bro, to redeem himself. You know what I mean? And it was a game to where everybody was going to play that was on the cusp. And I think Luby would be great as learning more and probably gaining a little bit more weight because he can't hang. I like the dude, but he can't hang yet. He's too light in the eyes to be Zeus or anything like that. I don't give a shit if he catches balls off field.
I think he had one good run for like 8 yards when it was in between the tackles, where he did get some good yardage in between. That's the only good run I've seen, out of the last game. But I will agree, he is young. He is getting a lot more.
Practice Squad 2.0. Practice Squad 2.0 right there.
But I just see them, if they're going to carry 4, I see them carrying him over the other 2. That's the only reason I say they keep him. Because I see them keeping him over the other 2.
Yeah.
The only way is that Abdullah is expendable. If Abdullah is expendable, which I don't think Lobby beat him out. I don't think Lobby beat him out.
A lot of reports are saying they're keeping 4. They're keeping 4 running backs.
I would too, but you got to think out the box though. They don't have to be these players that we go get, Gabe.
True.
Might be another running back out there.
Very true. Okay. No, that's very true.
If Kareem Hunt was still out there, would you get Kareem Hunt over Lobby and Abdullah?
But that fucking shit, bro, with his history and shit. Like the stigma with the Raiders.
Dylan, he's pissed off this Jacobs.
I wouldn't mind that. I would want more of another dude. Maybe wait till tomorrow afternoon, and maybe they go 3. Maybe they only get maybe they only keep 52 or 51 tomorrow, because AP did say they are going to be looking at the waiver wire, because they might look at, in the cornerback position or something like that, and maybe the running back position, just to be at the end of the running back to give it depth. But just think there's going to be a lot of movement tomorrow, especially of course, that's for sure. But you are right on that. You are for sure right on that.
I think the roster is going to be fluid regardless. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to go based off of what we currently have right now. And for me, the running back room, I've been saying since the beginning that they were going to carry forward, since we didn't have a fullback. Since we don't have a fullback, that opens up another room for another running back. And I think you got Zamir White, that's the number one. Madison's right behind him. And then I've been campaigning for Amir Abdullah, because I think a lot of people are disrespecting Amir Abdullah for the value that he brings to this team.
The disrespect for Abdullah, bro. The disrespect for him.
I think there is some disrespect there in the sense of the value that he actually brings to this team, not just as a third down back, but his blocking ability and also what he brings to special teams. So that with that, I have him in the third running back. And then Dylan Lobby is in that fourth. It's one of those situations with Dylan Lobby. He's the only running back that actually coughed up the football this whole preseason. You know what I'm saying? Well, at least on TV. So
that's big. That is big.
It's one of those things where, you kind of have a side eye emoji on that situation, but he might eventually turn into that third down back, but he needs a year to grow. And like I said on Gravy's show, and Gravy said it tonight, I think he needs to add a couple more pounds. And I think that's going to come in his second year.
Three running backs, Gabe. That this guy's different. It ain't McDaniels. McDaniels was a running back by committee type guy. So he got all these guys, and he saved all these running backs just in case. Well, this one don't work. Let's try another one. Okay, AP is like, we're going to run the ball with the same dude up your ass. You know what I mean?
I think the amount of the running backs that we keep is going to really tell you how much they believe in Zamir or not.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get at. That's it. We keep three NFL decorated running backs. You know what I mean? And you could have one of these other guys, two guys that you've been saving for 3 years, which I wouldn't do. And then you got then you got Lobby over there that's perfect for the practice squad. And then you could activate him and take him off, save him. Because I'm tired of the non-production. I'm tired of the non-production that these two other guys constantly do. And people say that they're the second coming of this. At least, even though he fumbled and he was holding the ball wrong and things like that, you could teach that. You can't out-teach fumbleitis, but you can change your weight, get stronger, the way you position yourself when you run. He could do things like that he didn't learn in New Hampshire. His inexperience and big-time football collegiately showed that day how he holds the football. How he turns his body, but he looked great in shorts and no pads on. He looked great, quick, and all this. People were talking about, but what happened when he and you can't tell me, oh, it's just one fumble. No, that's unexcusable. You cannot do that in NFL. It equals points in NFL, almost guaranteed. 90% of turnovers end up to be points for that team that recovers that turnover.
All right.
So you can't do that. So I would keep Lobby. I would get rid of Sincere. I would get rid of Brown because I'm tired of talking about them. And then we'll just start this trend of Luby jerseys and Luby this and Luby that, beating out somebody. And then maybe he might outwork Amir Abdullah in a couple of years, a year. And then, Abdullah will call it quits. But Abdullah's an asset for this team. Luby isn't yet.
No, that's true. That's true. I'm saying if they do keep three, that shows a lot of confidence in him.
And
I do think they keep Lobby.
I
I would say they keep Lobby just maybe as the fourth guy if they do keep four. I think they keep him as 4 just because at the end of the bench kind of thing, to where he's still learning under the other guys. But it is very possible that, like you said earlier, like if there's some guys that, some big name cuts out there or something like that, who AP or somebody feels comfortable in bringing in here, that can possibly change their mind on that, to where you might see Lobby have to be stashed away on the practice squad. You know what I mean? So, but as far as that, like I would go that lean towards that and that. But shout out to AP DDT. I missed this, the super chat earlier. He put what about? So what about? I heard he put a $5 super chat. Shout out, man. And he's put what about? I heard Patrick Graham and Getsy weren't even calling plays, so second and string this last game, I guess. So second and third string players were playing their asses off, and most of them, in my opinion. And hey, I think they played their asses off regardless. You know what I mean? Because there was a lot of dudes that kind of shined on Friday, bro. Like Gainer. Gainer was out there playing his ass off. You know what I mean? Trying to make this team. You know what I mean? You got guys like McAllister. Bro. You got guys like McAllister. You know what I mean? Guys like McAllister who popped off of this. You know what I mean? In this last game, didn't see much of much of him in the other games, which I think that's why he's still close. But that was a hell of a game, that's for sure. You know what I mean? You could use a guy like that who's very fast. You know what I mean? Obviously, we have guys that I think are going to be very effective in the run. I mean, in the return game, like in DJ Turner and you know what I mean, and Tucker. But McAllister's, it could be an asset as well, man. That dude's fast.
Low 4.3s, dude. Low 4.3s. That's fast.
Yeah,
that's super fast.
But yeah, I do agree, AP. They were playing their asses off for sure. I think one way or another, if they were calling plays or not, they played their asses off for sure. But I would say those are the 4. I would say 4 running backs. But if you say 3, I mean, there you go. Like you said 3, you said you'll probably keep 3. So we're like at the same.
Active roster 3, Gabe, and then Luby will be on the practice squad. I'm done with Sincere.
And with quarterbacks, you said what? With quarterbacks, you said
2.
2? Okay. So all right. So I'm at 6. You're at 5. I know. You what do you think, Twan? You say 4 or 3?
No, I'm still at 4. I'm still at 4.
4. Okay. So we both at 6. 6 guys so far on ours, and you go 5 on Gravy. So next, we'll go to the wide receivers, man. This is going to be kind of hard because there is guys out there. I think there's 2
tough ones,
maybe 3 guys on tough ones that are going to be, towards the end, which we just talked about one in Tyreek McAllister. You know what I mean? Because you got Christian Wilkerson who played good this preseason as well. Even in camp, you seen him making some great catches. You seen that dude mossing 2 guys on the at the Allegiant practice the other night. You know what I mean? That I know McAllister. I mean, Christian Wilkerson's been playing good. Jalen Guyton was kind of hampered by a little bit of injuries, but the dude is, you could tell he runs crisp routes. You know what I mean? I like Jalen Guyton. That dude's he's a good route runner, bro. I think it's gonna be tough between him and then also that guy Ramel Keaton. He's a big, taller wide receiver. I think that's a guy that is for sure probably going to hit the practice squad, but he's a guy to keep an eye out. You know what I mean? If any of these guys seems to, maybe go down or whatever, but I would say the 6 that the Raiders are going to keep that wide receiver, and the 6 that I would say are Devontae, Jacoby, Trey Tucker, DJ Turner for sure. Those are the 4. And I would say I would round it off with the other 2 with Christian Wilkerson. And then between Jalen Guyton and Tyreek McAllister, I mean, I like Tyreek McAllister, what he did in this last game. Jalen Guyton runs some good-ass routes, though. But I will take Tyreek McAllister just because of that speed.
McAllister could be just a special teams guy on the 53, too, Gabe.
The only thing is, though, like with the 53, there's only really 3 special teams guys that are out there, right? Like the 3 special teams guys that are kind of like, if you look at the way the other rosters by numbers, like obviously they're gonna be the special team guys are going to be grabbed from all of these positions, but I think Tyreek McAllister would be, I think, just a special team guys if we didn't have Trey Tucker or DJ Turner. But he's already going to have a tough time making the first team in that situation too. You know what I mean? So I think he makes it as that sixth receiver, as the actual sixth receiver, just because in case they need to use him in the kicking game. But I think for sure they're going to have to use a roster spot for him and not designate him as just a kick returner, because we have Trey Tucker and DJ Turner, because those guys are going to be more like first and second string in those. So you're never going to keep a third string kickoff returner. You know what I mean? Or a punt returner.
You wouldn't want to keep those.
I mean, DJ Turner,
pure wide receivers, as receivers, and add them to that six.
I think DJ.
I like Gayton too. I like Gayton too.
I like Gayton.
I also I like what Keaton did, because you said he was a big long receiver, but Wilkerson's the same guy as Keaton is. Keaton just made better catches. That one-handed catch was great. You got to do that consistently, though. We've seen Wilkerson do that, so Wilkerson's in
I think I just think this is me though. I think they could very well keep 7. They could very well keep 7. Because I have them keeping 4 tight ends, but they could very well keep 3 tight ends and keep 7 receivers. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just where I think they want to go. And I'll speak on the tight ends why I think they're going to keep 4 tight ends, but I think Jalen Guyton for me would be like the one guy like on the outside maybe looking in, because I think Tyreek McAllister probably played himself into a roster spot on Friday. Maybe.
I think returning in special teams. I don't think he's gonna get me.
Okay.
Look, he had a good game. I respect that. And he got that little pass for. I thought the dude was a running back. Got a running back number, So.
Yeah. No, I feel
you. I knew he was on the roster. I knew he's been around there, but I didn't expect him to have a game like that. He shined the day that he should have. He took a lot of light from some people, and that was great.
Yes, he
so
did.
I think he played his way into the roster spot, or you could keep him on the. I think people start looking at his speed and what he can do. It doesn't take one game as far as coaches. You can have one badass game, Gabe, and then fall off the next.
For sure.
Fall off the next couple of weeks, and you don't want to disappear.
The only thing is that the only 3 designated special teams positions, and I'll get these 3 out of the way right now, are Bobenmeyer, AJ Cole, and Carlson.
I disagree with you, Gabe.
Those are 3 guys that we know we got.
Carlson should be on the practice squad, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. Those are the only 3 guys really, because if you go by the rest of the positions, how it's broken down, it's going to be hard to take away and add and just basically designate him only as a returner. You know what I mean? So they're going to have to stick him in one position group. That's the thing I'm saying. They're going to have to stick him in some position group, and it might have to. That might cause why they keep him instead of Jalen Guyton if they keep 6. That's only me saying if they keep 6. But if they keep 7, for sure, I think Guyton sticks around. But I think that they keep 6, so that's why I'm going with him as the last receiver.
He was doing running back shit. So what if he's your 4th running back? You know what I mean? He's one of them. He's one of them guys. I don't know why I'm talking about
because those are the guys that are most of the guys that are going to get the pub right now, because I think there's certain guys that are set in stone. We know the guys that are going to make the team. They're kind of, you know what I mean? Like the Max Crosby's, the Wilkins, the DAs, the guys that are kind of set in stone. Those guys, are the guys that are tomorrow are going to either have a new career, dog, or still have to pack their bags and keep looking. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like that guy could have played himself into, a good little, actually like some security for this year. You know what I mean? It's just
they got a little package for McAllister in there. He's a special dude. So I think so. He's tough kid. Go ahead, Twan. I'm sorry.
As much as I like, and I'll tell you, Gabe and Gravy. I'm taking 5. I'm really taking 5 at wide receiver. Okay. DA, Jacoby, Trey Tucker, DJ, and I'm taking Wilkerson. And the reason why I'm taking Wilkerson is because if one of those top guys goes down, whether it's Jacoby or DA, you're going to need somebody that can play the premier, outside type of wide receiver. And I think Wilkerson would be one of those guys. Like if Jacoby went down, Wilkerson can be opposite side of DA and still get things done. Now you could say, put Trey out there, but to be honest with you, I see Trey more of a slot situation, than anything else. And I think Wilkerson has a bigger body than what Trey brings to the table. So that's why I took Wilkerson in the situation. Yes, I liked, McAllister, yes, I love what he was doing. But when you look at, the flavors of a wide receiver, we already got 2 wide receivers that already kind of do what McAllister would bring to the table. DJ Turner does a similar suit as what McAllister brings to the table. Trey Turner, Trey does the same thing. So, that's why I went with the bigger body with Wilkerson. And it seems like Wilkerson, just like Jacoby, it always seems like Wilkerson seems to get open. And I'm all for that too.
And I will mention this. We had a guy, a couple back-to-back preseasons, tear it up, bro. You know what I mean? And do you guys remember Atkinson the third? Bro, tore it up in preseason, dog. It's just sometimes you're showcasing that for another team, especially when, like you say, there is guys with that type of skill set. So that could be the situation. But I do like what he showed on. I just like his I know he's experienced. He comes from I think, was he in the USFL? Was he I think he was in the USFL or something like that. That they
Canadian. He was Canadian. McAllister was Canadian.
He was the leading return guy over there, right? Like he was like the leading guy over there or something like that. Like he led the league in returns and all of that shit over there. And he's speedy. And I will say that it's very close between him and Guy in my 6th anyway. You know what I mean? I will say 6, but it's very close for me and that Guy in and him because Guy in has the experience. Telesco did bring him over. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. And it all depends on what Getz he feels more comfortable having back there. A veteran, a guy that has more experience, maybe like a Guy in who's been around more, or McAllister who has, he kind of maybe has, like you said, guys with that skill set. But I do like McAllister for sure.
Look at Raider Pete already.
Let's see.
Doing his 2.0 shit. 2.0 shit already. He ain't even close to Cordell Patterson, dude. See what we do? You see what we fucking do? Pro Bowl returner, Pro Bowl wide receiver, and McAllister has one good preseason game against guys that are going to be working at Walmart tomorrow, and then he's compared to Cordell Patterson.
Now when he ran that run back, I mean, that was pretty damn.
That's special, bro. That's special. Nice, but look at nice. Did anybody know Puka's brother could do shit like that?
He didn't score.
Now everybody wants Puka's brother. Who really knew McAllister? Who really?
I don't want him. He didn't score. No, you gotta smell the end zone. You gotta smell the end zone when you're that close.
But see, McAllister's was only.
All he did was get tired.
This dude was 106 yards.
All he did was get tired. He didn't start that
I
ball
would have fell out at the 20-yard line, bro. I would have fell out at the 20. Shit, that's the most he can get out of me.
That's like when in baseball. That's like in baseball where like they hit it and it like barely goes down, like just a long strike.
Yeah,
that's all it is, dog.
Good enough though. Yeah, hey. In the Raider world, I'll be compared to somebody tight, right?
Nah, you good.
I'll be compared to somebody 2.0, somebody.
Those plays though are crazy though because you have a bunch of offensive linemen out there blocking for the field goal team. You know what I mean? So it's like it's that's a different type of formation out there. But
I knew I was going to see that, Dixon. I knew I was going to see that shit. Gravy, Skip Bayless, 2.0.
but those are my guys. And this is why I say tight ends, why I say 4. Just because I think the 3 guys that are for sure going to be kept are Bowers, Mayer, and Harrison Bryant. Right? I like those 3 guys as our 3 tight ends. And I think the 4th guy was kind of being, you know, fought out there for on Friday between Zach Gentry and Fotheringham. You know what I mean? Cole Fotheringham, which to me, with the way I think Getsy wants to run the ball, I see more suited for Zach Gentry, just because that dude's on extra offensive lineman. You know what I mean? Like he's just a big ass off, like, you know, almost extra lineman, and he could go out there for a pass. You've seen that on Friday. He went out there, you know, caught a ball. You know what I mean? And it's just, I think they keep Zach Gentry. A lot of people are saying Cole Fotheringham, but I would lean towards Zach Gentry. And that's why I say 6 instead of 7 in the receivers, because I think that you keep 4 tight ends.
You're overloading on 7 receivers, Gabe. That's too much. That's
why I say 6.
Unless they're great special teamers, then you're just going that way, you know. And I'm with you on 4 tight ends too. I think actually I would keep the 3 best. You know what? Fotheringham ain't better than Bryant. Gentry ain't better than Fotheringham. So get rid of Fotheringham and Gentry, and then you already put Bowers and Mayer at fullback. So, you know, they're kind of your all around, and if we go in a situation to where we have 2 tight ends, then that's just extra weapons. You know what I mean? Extra weapons, but you're gonna take one of our speedy guys like Tucker and DJ away. But would you do that?
Yeah.
In certain situations,
you know, Mayer's kind of a liability compared to Tucker and DJ, because he's big, he's strong, he can do whatever tight end wise, but is he receiver wise like Tucker and the other guys? That's the way you got to look at it. To me, but I would either go the 3 best you got is enough, and 2 of them are going to be out there most of the time. So
that's for sure. I mean, Michael Mayer should be that blocker anyway, but Gentry is, I think he just, if you're going to use some double tight ends on, you know, in the goal line, you know what I mean? And the 2 guys that I think that you line up out there with all those offensive linemen are Mayer and Gentry, you know what I mean? And you got 7.
I'll throw all 3 of them. I'll throw all 3 of them out there. Shit.
So it's like, I mean, but those are the 4 guys. I would just say 4, just because, I mean, I think that we keep 4.
Is it because, you know, you got to think football wise, you know, Fotheringham, you know, he's a name for the Raiders, or did he really show you, you know, he's hardly ever in real games. He might be a good special teams player. See, that's the thing. We don't know if these guys are great or average special team players. You know what I mean? We don't know that. We don't got a guy sitting there saying, well, this special teams guy, you know what I mean? It'll be good to have those, but, you know, I put him in the same boat as McAllister. You know, maybe Fotheringham is a great special teams guy that he needs to be on the roster.
Who is Fotheringham?
Whatever fucking name is. I don't know. If I can't say it, I just like do lobby. You know, I think you do. But if I can't say your name right, you ain't playing. And
hey, true. If you can't remember his fucking name, shit.
Hey,
no,
Gravy.
What do you think? What do you think, Troy?
Why waste the material? Why waste the material on the jersey if you can't? I was doing a play-by-play saying number 36, number 32. McAllister, I seen it because I couldn't see his name because his dreads. And I said, oh, McAllister, I remember seeing him as a running back, but he was a receiver, I guess.
I got 4 tight end. And I'm rolling with you, Gabe. I'm with Bowers, Mayer, Bryant, and Gentry. I think we need 2 blocking tight ends. I think the reason why Fotheringham's not going to make it is because I see him more of a receiving tight end, and I think we have enough pass catchers in the tight end room that we don't really need. You know what I'm saying? A guy that's like the catching type of tight end. We're gonna be trying to run the ball, and I think Gentry fits that. You know what I'm saying, with his big frame, and you need a backup. You know what I'm saying? We know Harrison Bryant's going to be more of that blocking too. You know what I'm saying? Tight end in certain situations, but you need someone to. Hey, if he needs to get taped up or something, we need someone to go in there like Gentry to carry that through. And both of those guys are vets too. You know what I'm saying? Bryant's a vet and Gentry's also a vet. So I think that works well for the 2 younger guys that are on the top end of the tight end room.
Yeah, like if they keep 3, there's no way I think you keep Fotheringham, because if you want a pass catcher, you don't keep him over Harrison Bryant. If you want a blocker, I still don't think you keep Gentry over Harrison Bryant. So I think the top 3 would for sure be those 3 guys. You know what I mean? Because I think Harrison Bryant on a lot of other teams would be either a number 2 guy, tight end, or on some teams even a number 1. So, but on some, you know what I mean? Not many probably, but I think he's a very good backup tight end or whatever on a lot of teams. But I just think that the last 2 years we've gone out, second round high guy, a guy that was supposed to be slated to be picked in the first round in Mayer, and then we went out this year again in first round and got Bowers, which I think that's why you kind of forget a little bit about Harrison Bryant. But that dude's he's very effective. He's been very effective in this league, already. So I like Harrison Bryant as our 3rd tight end for sure. It's that 4th tight end that it's going to be on the fringe too, because it all depends on which direction they want to go. But if they go blocking tight end, which I think that's where the way they would go if they keep a 4th, which would be Gentry for me.
And then Fotheringham goes into practice squad, he ain't gonna be there that long.
Yeah, I think that might be the option too. Is Fotheringham going to practice squad?
Yeah, he won't be there that long. Someone will pick him up. He'll probably go back where he's from. Is he from Pittsburgh?
I'm not.
We got him from Pittsburgh.
Or I don't even know, bro. To be honest.
Well, if you don't know, then why keep him?
For real. Hey, like you said earlier, you can't even remember his name. So, okay. And now we go to the position. Gravy's favorite. We're going to Gravy's favorite position, the offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would go. I'm going 9.
9. Good.
I'm going 9. And I will say Colton, JPJ, of course, Andre James, Dylan Parham, Thayer Munford, Cody Whitehair, because Cody Whitehair will probably be the starter game 1, but I say Jackson Powers Johnson kind of too, like in that same breath, because I do believe he's a successor, sooner rather than later. So those are the first 6. Then you got to go Andres Pete, you know what I mean? DJ Glaze, who's showed out this in preseason, which was a big eye opener for me, because I was one of the ones that talked a lot when they picked him. I was a little bit disappointed, but he has showed me for sure that I should shut up when it comes to it, But I will say him, and the last guy I would say, because we're probably going to keep that last guy who has some familiarity on this team, is Jordan Meredith. Will be the round out the 9 for me.
Okay. Well, your mind.
I say Pete.
You said Andreas Pete.
Okay.
Okay, I got Colton that left always until Colton had left, white hair, until JPJ can dominate white hair and take over that job
Sure,
100%.
for sure.
Okay, but I haven't got my second string yet. I got James, and then you gotta have somebody backing him up, so that one guy's gonna back up. That's part of the 9. Okay, who's James
Has
backup?
Cody? Has Cody? Oh well, we have. Who's James? Is going to be probably Dylan. Dylan has played center in this league before. He played 2 games. He started 2 games in his rookie season.
We actually got a few people that played center before.
And Cody, right? Cody Whitehair too, right?
Let's say we keep Parham and Parham could do it. Okay, or JPJ, but I'm not putting JPJ at nothing until I see the dude.
Oh
So
yeah,
he's healthy.
PJ too.
You know?
Best center in college though. He was the best center in college.
But
Just
he's hurt
saying.
right now. He's hurt right
No,
now in
I'm
the pros
saying,
game.
all I'm saying is that, like, if you were like, and I'm saying when they're both healthy, of course, yeah. No, you're right. You're totally right on that. Of course, when they're healthy, that's the biggest question. But if they're both healthy, and say at a point, you know, Andre James goes down a little bit, you know what I mean, gets nicked up, who would you feel more comfortable if they're all out there? You know, Dylan Parham, you know, James and JPJ. Who out of those 3? And if the starter goes down, who are the other 2 for the other 2 guys? Are you comfortable playing at that? You know, JPJ just played that last season, not in the pros, but he just played that last season. But Parham has taken snaps in the pros at center. So who will you feel more comfortable, you know, taking those snaps as a backup?
The center?
Yeah.
It's Parham.
You feel more comfortable with Parham, even though he's more removed from it?
Well, he's our starting right guard right now, bro.
Oh,
Who's gonna play right guard?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Right now, that's what I'm saying. If they're all out there, who are you? Because this is our idea is that we want JPJ to be that successor. So if he does become that guy, who are you more comfortable if James goes down going to get that, you know, taking snaps at center?
Whoever James's backup is at this time at center.
Oh, I don't even know who's the backup center, to be honest.
Didn't Meredith play center?
I think so too. Meredith has played center too.
And so we got JPJ, we got Pete, we got Glaze. Glaze ain't going nowhere. 1, 2.
I even think Whitehair played center before, huh?
Okay, but man, look at this. We're talking about just the games that we've seen. I seen Wagner in there, and I know that the kid needs to develop, but with offensive linemen, there's more development. This dude is massive. Did you know a couple of plays when I was doing the play-by-play? I seen this guy pull, and it didn't look like anybody wanted a piece of this dude.
He's
just
big,
like
bro.
Visually looking at him. The thing is,
and he can move because he can move.
Yeah, but he can't get out the way, bro. He can't. He's not as not as fast as Zamir or any of these running backs, but he needs to develop that. He needs to pick where he's gonna go and get out the freaking way. The development of him with his footwork, I heard his footwork was really, really bad. I didn't see it that bad, but I'll throw.
The thing is, will they be able to stash him on the practice squad again? With because I think I've seen improvement in him. I've seen improvement for sure in him. You know what I mean? Because last year we didn't even get to see him. I don't think because they never even called, or maybe he was out there, but they never even called his name. You know what I mean? It's like you've seen improvement. So you think that would they be able to stash him on the practice squad again though?
I think he's
without
on the roster as an offensive lineman group. That's my 9th guy.
Oh, you have him on the team. Oh,
yes.
Over Meredith or somebody like that.
Meredith is my 10th /
Oh, you got 10 guys. Okay.
I got 10 offensive linemen. That's usually what, unless you got a dominant guy, you got a dominant side, you know.
Oh, that's surprising. Okay.
So you can't. It's different from defensive linemen, Gabe, where you got Tyree, a massive man that could do this and that. with Wagner, all the shit that Tyree has benefits Wagner as an offensive lineman. The long arms, the
I just wish there
push.
was more roster spots
I
though,
wish there
because
was more. He was
can be
more
tight.
physical. He's physical, but he can't move. He just get out the way. But that can be taught. He's doing things that can be taught, and it's just footwork. But I think
Okay.
he's in there because they can't let a guy like that go, because that might end up biting us in the ass.
It could,
because we
he
throw
looks
Meredith
like he
in there.
can develop.
Mm-hmm.
Because
He is
it's him,
developing.
other than like the case, and I fucking hate to bring this name up, Tyree. The thing with the difference between him is like there was a lot of expectation of him because he was undrafted, right? And you see him coming along. You know what I mean? They stashed him away, and you kind of didn't understand why when they stashed him away in that first season. Obviously, because of his size. Last year, didn't play much. They put him on the injury reserve, so it's like you didn't see much, but you see some improvement enough to where it might come back and bite you in the ass. Is it enough to garner a roster spot? For me, I don't think so, but it's going to be hard maybe to keep him on a roster spot without a team maybe picking him up, a lesser team.
And also,
alignment, you can't deny. I'm sorry, Twan, real quick. You can't deny that size though. You can't as a tackle.
That
you can't deny that.
I mean,
you remember Kevin Gogan? You guys remember when Kevin Gogan came from Dallas?
We have a guy almost his exact size on the other side. You know what I mean? So I know how big that motherfucker is. You know what I mean? Colton's just as big. You know what I mean? So
he's bigger than Colton.
They're right there. They're right there. They're neck and neck. You know what I mean?
I don't think Colton's 6'8".
He's 6'8" and 6'9". 169 is 168. They're there. They're right there.
That's massive tackles. That's massive. That's massive right there. I would hate to be go ahead, Twan. I'm sorry.
No. I'm with you on that. I think with him, that's what we were saying about him last year, and we were hoping that situation would pop. The only thing that I would throw into this situation is that would mean technically you would have 3 right tackles that you're putting on the roster.
Mumford ain't no small guy either.
You have Thayer Mumford at right tackle. You have Glaze at right tackle. So are you still taking that third right tackle?
Glaze is swing, bro. He can do both. He's that good.
Okay.
And then you got Pete. Well, Pete and Whitehair are a little bit more. I mean, those guys are going to be more versatile too because they've played more positions.
You might have a situation where Pete's gone, bro. You might have a situation where Pete's gone. He might look at these young dudes and say, "I like this shit."
Yeah.
Pete's been around for a couple of years. He's decorated.
He's older.
He did his due with the Saints, and number 1 pick and all this, and he's falling off a little bit. We can all tell that. And then if you see a young guy like Glaze, give him a shot, and then bye Pete.
I'm taking 9. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know. There, it wouldn't surprise me because, like, on the top of my head, when I was just thinking about how I was saying 10 on each side. You know what I'm saying? 10 on the offensive side, 10 on the defensive side when it comes to the line. But as I look at it, I have 9: Colton, Pete, Glaze, Thayer, Parham, Andre -3,000. We'll see how that works out. JPJ, you know what I'm saying? Whitehair and Meredith.
If you're saying that about Pete already, why don't you just leave him off and put Wagner in there?
You see, that's not a bad idea because of the potential and the olderness. But then again, you got a guy who's a little bit versatile, who has been, who can be, and you got some injury concerns with JPJ and Colton. You know what I mean? Kind of. So are you that confident that maybe you can stick Wagner in there and he can hold his own?
And left, I would go with Glaze. If
Okay.
something happens to Colton Miller, I would go with Glaze.
Okay.
Because That was the draft pick, I think, where they looked at this and say, "Hey, our best offensive lineman is having shoulder problems already," and then that's not good as an offensive lineman. They call it the Baselli effect because Tony Baselli was one of the best tackles in the game. Got some, him, Gabe. He's a Trojan, But the thing is that if you start getting these shoulder problems, you get somebody high as an offensive lineman to take over for him, and it ain't going to be right tackle because Mumford's young, and Mumford is developing, and so is Parham.
I just don't think. I don't know if you keep Dalton over Pete, but hey,
yeah,
if they are going with the youth. They are going with the youth. If they are going with the youth movement, that can be.
And then once you get your quarterback, these dudes are ready, and you don't have a problem with offensive line. You got this dude for 5 years, or you got Pete, you got Glaze for 4 years, and if he's just even average on the blind side, then you're cool.
Okay, so you say 9 or 10? You say 10, huh?
Well, possibility of 10 with
possibility, but you think say more
getting rid of Pete. If we keep Pete, if we get rid of Pete, which probably won't happen, but I'm in fantasy land, and then Wagner would take his spot.
Okay. So we all agree, more likely agree with 9 or 10. It just all depends on if
I got a grip of extra spots. I got a grip of extra spots for corners and linebackers.
Not that many. I'm telling you.
We're gonna bring back Hall, huh?
It's mounting up. I'm telling you.
We're gonna bring back Trayvon Mullen, bro.
Look at right here. Defensive lineman. How many do you think they keep? This is just interior defensive lineman. So you got
just
Christian Wilkins.
Interior to tackles, from tackle
Christian
to the nose.
Wilkins is for sure. You got Christian Wilkins. You got John Jenkins, Adam Butler for me, and I say they keep 4. And they've already cut McCall. And I think that last spot is between 3 guys. It's between Byron Young, Matthew Butler, and Nesta Jade Silvera. And I think that the guy that has the most ties with the head coach is going to be the one that stays, and it's going to be Nesta Jade.
Mm-hmm. And he improved. So
I think it's going to be 4 for me.
I don't get. Well, I mean, they did what they needed to do when it came to McCall. I hate that they made him lose that weight, because I think that if he would have been the hefty, you know what I'm saying, then I think he would have had a real case, because we have issues with stopping the run. Like you need big bodies that can plug up gaps and two gap and all that. And right now it seems like we're really relying on Jenkins to do that for us. Like, I'm not saying Jenkins is bad, but I think you need another big body. That's just my personal.
But, I mean, I think maybe they're thinking Nesta J turns into that guy, but I don't know. I mean, we still got Christian Wilkins, so Christian Wilkins should be that dominant dude. Where he takes off that pressure.
Coming into tackles now. That's the transition of the zone scheme.
No, I think they have a lot banked though on Wilkins taking that pressure off too.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot banked on that. I mean, they paid him like it, so I think they have a lot banked on Wilkins taking a lot of pressure off the other. He's supposed to elevate these other defensive linemen's games now. You know what I mean? Because they're playing next to him. So I mean, that's the
benefit from that.
But those are the 4 guys that I say we keep, because I'm just saying, because the way I did the broke down the roster earlier, it's like, fuck, you want to keep more guys, you know what I mean? Because, Matthew Butler kind of showed out in the last game a little bit. Byron Young played cool too. I do think for sure he's on the outside looking in. Matthew Butler can be, maybe a guy they plan to keep around because he hasn't been cut yet. So if they do keep 5, but I go 4, and I would say those 4 guys for me, because I don't think that and this is just because they don't have what's his name designated as a defensive tackle. You know what I mean? This is why I didn't put Tyree in that list. Which, to me, the only reason they're not cutting him is because of the contract situation. So I think he does make the DNs though. But who do you guys think on the D tackles? What do you think on the interior? Who do we keep? How many we keep?
I would keep 5.
5?
I would keep.
So
5.
who's that 5th guy? Or I mean, you got have totally different guys than me. Actually, I mean, you say you nested J too, right?
I say you're top 3. You're 3, and then Nesta
Adam
4.
Butler.
One
4.
more. Adam Butler. You're.
Well, Adam Butler's already there. Matthew Butler.
Matthew Butler, nah.
Or Byron Young. McCall already got cut. So it's between most likely Byron Young and Matthew Butler. If you were say 5. Most likely between those two guys. Because nobody else outplayed them two. Which you've seen kind of, and if you want to go on this last game, I will say probably Matthew Butler.
Matt Butler had a better preseason. I put Matthew Butler in there. He's a. But see,
Tennessee guy.
The reason Twan that you said the big bodies, those big guys, those Wolforks, Warren Sapp type guys, they have to move now because the zone scheme. Everybody's doing that, and they just can't bulldoze their way through and get the quarterbacks. Our quarterbacks are getting mobile; they're moving to the side. Offensive linemen are moving to the side. That's why your guards are getting lighter. Your tackles are getting long-armed and taller, not real 340-pound tackles. So these guys got to be around 300, maybe 285, 290. That's still a big dude, but if you're like McCall, 340, 360,
I was slim McCall. 340 was a slim McCall.
You're a biscuit away from being a sumo wrestler, and you want to you ain't gonna make the squad, bro. Those guys are gonna be flushed out the NFL. Those big guys. Unless you're dominant.
Maybe he had already lost 40 because he was at 385 and got down to 340.
But how did he wear that? Did it affect him? Did it affect his strength?
That's the thing. I don't know. That's what Quan was alluding to, though. Like, because I think that maybe that hurt his game from losing the weight. Maybe he was more effective with that weight on, as in his role. You know what I mean?
Because when he was with when he was that weight and playing with the Panthers, I went back and looked at his tape. He was moving people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where I'm like, if they had him on the slim fast shakes, that might have messed up his, you know what I'm saying? Like the power that he was like, putting on people.
How he wore that 340 or played with that 340. He probably was light on his feet, but he didn't bulldoze people.
Yeah.
And then you get into your mentals and I can't do this no more. When I was 380, when you were 380, you just moved your arms around and pushed people out the way. That's not the way football is anymore, Twan.
Yeah.
Those guys are, unless you're super good, unless you're your footwork. If you play a 3 technique, like where I would put him like a nose guard, then that would be obvious. But that center's moving. All centers are lighting the ass now. So
Raider P says Byron Young gets the 4th spot. Okay.
I don't think. I think Butler. I think Matthew played better.
No, he's talking about getting that. He's saying only 4, and he's talking about Young over Silvera, over Nesta.
Nah. They're both young, but they both have different game. I see Nesta in there. Nesta was.
I think the shit about. I think when AP got there and cut, Nesta Jade that first time. I think that lit a fire under Nesta Jade. You know what I mean? He got back on the practice squad, worked himself up. He showed improvement a lot. He showed a lot of improvement, I think, in this preseason. And I think that AP might have a little soft spot for him, and because he did recruit him. He is more familiar with him. You know what I mean? Being from Arizona State and all that shit. So I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why Nesta. That's not the only reason Nesta J, because he did improve, and it's not like Matthew Butler or Byron Young outplayed him. You know what I mean? So it's like in this preseason. So it's gonna be close though. It's gonna be close between them three.
Out of all three of them guys, Nesta J played the best out of all three of them.
That's why I'm having, and that's why I'm having trouble. I'm stuck at 4. You know what I'm saying? I got Christian Wilkins, Jenkins, Adam Butler, of course, and Nesta Jade. When it comes to, Matthew Butler, yeah, there was high praise for him. You know what I'm saying? Byron Young, at one point there was high praise for him, but I don't know if I could really put them on the roster. But at the same time, I might have to, because in reality, what do we, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but you know what I'm saying, when you talk about D-line, you got to talk about the DNs. How many DNs really do you think deserve to be on this roster? I can only think of 4. So
I think we're keeping 5, but yeah, you make a good point with 4 for sure, because that 5th guy is the guy that we have been, like, I've been arguing with Gravy all off season.
Who would that
Tyree,
be?
you know what I mean? So it's like I understand the other 4 guys.
He ain't got no name on the Raiders, bro. He's number 9. He's number 9.
And we could go straight to the DNs. Now name them. The 4 that I think it's going to be, well, 5 because of that, like what I said. So I'll say the first name right there, which is I think he's going to get it because of his draft spot and all that shit. It's going to be Tyree. Obviously Max. Obviously Kuntz. And then you got, I think the other 2 guys are going to be Janoris Robinson and Snowden.
I think both of those guys. I think both of those guys are better than Tyree right now.
Snowden looked good, man. He looked like he already has some. He has some nice moves on that outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like Snowden. Charles Snowden
played and who's the one that's supposed to be the superb athlete, the superb
Tyree
footwork guy?
Oh, footwork. I wouldn't say footwork.
And Robinson's just like a smaller Tyree. I think Tyree got too big, bro. Tell you the truth,
maybe
he got too big, and he's already slow, and in terms of slow, is defensive end slow, and then saying that it's all right to put him at tackle is like, why? Just like we did with Clee, we messed with his weight so much. Are we gonna do that with this dude too?
True.
Is he just a perimeter run stuffer, which he can't do either?
They didn't let him show any of his moves. That's the only hope I'm holding on to. They didn't let him show no moves.
Nothing, bro. Nothing.
Do not show nothing. That's what the coach
I would have played his ass all 4. I would have played his ass all 4 quarters.
But I'm holding on to.
Hey, was Snowden the one that batted down the ball?
What happened?
Yeah, he got a couple of passes.
He got a sack too. He got a nice sack too. Matthew Butler and Snowden both got nice sacks in the last game. I think Matthew Butler even got it on Purdy.
When Robinson and Snowden, they were in there as a dual threat. They did good together. They worked well together. And then they threw in number 9, and they fucked everything all up, all slow.
But it's just crazy
Robinson got a great get off.
You obviously see how they must feel a certain way about Tyree or something now, because why the hell wasn't he out there playing?
Well, I'm gonna say this, Gabe. It's hard not to look at the dude, because Josh told us, Josh was standing right next to him, and he goes, "This dude's a monster. He's the biggest dude out there." Yeah. So, besides Wagner,
Colton.
Yeah, or Michael Mayer.
A lot of big motherfuckers out there, but he's one of the biggest motherfuckers out there for sure.
So don't you think he'll be throwing fools around? Don't you think he'll be throwing fools around of the expectations that are put on you? Now finally we're starting to wrap our minds around that this dude ain't doing, maybe his confidence is low, or maybe, I understand his size. Josh said he's a massive human being, dude. I never seen a guy like that. And then, okay, but what does he do on the football field? Is he soft? Does he have a motor? Does he have heart? Does he want to play football? You know what I mean? It just looks like he's not interested in doing anything. He's just out there. Oh, I'm going to beat you with my strength. It's the NFL now, bro. These dudes are just as strong as you are.
Yeah. That's why I think that we keep 5, though. I think we do keep those 5.
He's going to be one of them. He's going to be one of them. God, I hate to say it, but he's going to be on the roster.
Yeah.
Because
who do you think they keep, the 5 or 4 or shit? Because I don't think they keep more than 5 for sure. Like, there's obviously the 5 is just because of that. I mean, I think they would be inclined to keep 4, but I think it's 5 for sure.
I wouldn't doubt Twan if it's 5 and 5. I wouldn't doubt it.
I can see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gabe talked about Snowden. That's Tyree or Snowden, that's the 5th spot. And then, like I said, Matthew Butler or Byron Young, that could be the 5th spot on the D tackle spot.
You got, and Tyree's the 10th guy on my list. The 10th guy. It's hanging by a piece of the string. Keeps getting stronger. The string keeps getting weaker with this guy. After a while, I'm gonna be done with him.
Hey,
I don't call him by his name. He might come up to me and say, "Call me by my name," but he ain't gonna catch me. I know for damn sure he won't catch me.
I think it's gonna be 9 and 9 on our offensive line.
9 and 9.
9 and 9.
9 and 9.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so 5 on the 5 defensive ends, 4 defensive tackles.
Yeah,
I think 5 and 5 will be great because
I think that's what I got too.
Need that rotation, the constant flow going like this, and as far as the defensive tackles are concerned, the guys in the middle, you need that because Jenkins ain't gonna be able to last 3 downs, bro.
No,
sure no. But I think
we know Max's motor. Kuntz is gonna be the same way, and don't anybody dare to say put Tyree in at defensive end over Kuntz. I got Tyree 4th on behind. He should even be 2 behind Max because nobody's gonna be behind Max.
Yeah, and Max gonna go wherever he wants.
Then you got to factor on our D line that we got 2 guys that ain't gonna come off the field. You know what I'm saying? Wilkins ain't going off. Just as much as we talk about Max Crosby playing all the downs. You know what I'm saying? Wilkins is that same type of player. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hard to get Wilkins off the field. So. Yeah, that helps, even with the road. I don't want to say it helps with the rotation, but you can kind of, maybe, take a look at some other guys.
The pairs are easier to make pairs. The pairs are easier to make pairs with, you know what I mean? Because now you got 2 guys who are dominant on there too, where you only got to be worried about the other 2 spots and really only 1 because it looks like Kuntz is going to get there. You know what I mean? So really only 1 other spot, which you have a lot of guys to choose from. Adam Jones, Tyree, if you see him making any improvement, or Matthew Butler, if he stays around, or Nesta J. So you have a lot of guys that could go in there that are fresh, have some fresh wheels and really actually have that other spot just, kind of play good by committee. Like almost that other spot just play good by committee. You know what I mean? So, but I agree with
Robinson and that, Nesta on that one side for Kuntz and Jenkins that were good on the perimeter side. But if you go with the nose, that'll be something. If you want a bull rush, you can have Nesta there, or you can put number 9 in there.
Yeah, that's one move he knows. That's one move he does know, and he is strong. So I mean, that's the one probably thing you can use him for.
Blown up by centers, bro. That's gonna be really bad. That's really bad. That's the last resort right there. That'll be the last resort.
He's strong as fuck. That's one thing I have seen in him. He is strong as fuck. That's the one thing I have seen him. So if he starts getting pushed by centers, that just means he's really not able to use his, not knowing how to use his body. You know what I mean? Because he shouldn't be getting moved around like that with that frame, that height, that muscle, whatever like that. He just shouldn't be getting moved around. Especially because interior linemen are smaller guys anyway.
Yeah. You know what my fear though? You know what my fear though is, Gabe and Gravy? I hate that, they always say history repeats itself. I hate the fact that we're in this limbo with a D lineman. We did this before. Right. We did this with Cleveland Farrell. Oh, we're gonna play him on the outside. Oh, we're gonna play him on the inside. We're gonna play him on the outside. We're gonna play him on the inside. And
linebacker.
Bro, we did that with Jihad Ward too. Remember?
Yeah. All those coaching staffs got fired for doing shit like that.
I just wish they picked one spot and make him work there.
Hey, Gravy, his coaching staff got fired too.
Yeah.
So that's not nothing new, you know what I mean? His coaching staff they did get fired too, but
it's important, Gabe, being a defensive tackle, and we all know this now that's the way the game's going. You need to stop the run. You have to do that. You got to make these running quarterbacks. They're not developing these young quarterbacks that are mobile. They're not developing passing, abilities like the guys that stand in there do. It's night and day, bro. You know what I mean? Let's look at the immobile guys. Burrow and Cousins and and Stafford.
Burrow can move still. Burrow can still move
guys
around.
Like that, but they can move side to side, but they're not going to move like Mahomes and Lamar and those guys. They're so difficult is that they make your defensive linemen, these offensive coordinators know they have a quarterback like that, and they make your defensive linemen work so hard to get to them is that they're tired by play one. By first down, they're dead tired, and that rotation comes in. When you get that rotation in, your second and third guys got to be super, super very important, and they got to be ballers, bro. They just can't be out there slow and no motor. They got to be ready to go, man. Second play if the dude gets – those guys get big legs, gets bent and stepped on. This guy gets stepped on in his ankle. Next thing you know, first play of the game, he's gone.
And because that's one of the reasons why they want to use him at the end, because that body is tall. You know what I mean? His legs are long, so it's like you don't want him in that just mixed up in all of that trench type shit. But because longer limbs do get caught up easier. But
I wouldn't.
But hey, if he is effective there, I don't really, regardless of where he plays, as long as he gets to be where he goes, and then they keep him there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see, like you say, keep experimenting him here, and then making him gain his weight or lose weight. Like,
that's how we messed up with Clee. That's how we messed up with Clee.
If you see improvement at defensive line and like, you know what? Okay, like, let's just focus on that. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to like flip flop it because, okay, now you start seeing a little bit of progress that he's making the defensive line. Okay, so now he could probably move back to the defensive end because he's making progress there. Let's move him here now again. That might end up fucking up his whole progression. So, like, if he is making progression somewhere, I will say that leave him there. You know what I mean? Regardless of where, even if you do have plans on, even if your plans were to him play defensive end, if that's where he's gonna play his best in the interior, then just keep him there and develop him there. But it's just like, at this point, we just want to get the best out of him because shit, bro, it's the 7th overall pick, and anything that's going to help us out on the field is going to be good at this point. Because
you think that way, Gabe. Thank God you think that way now. You've seen what I seen a long time ago.
It's just because this was his chance, dog. This whole off season, the camp, the preseason and all that shit. He was supposed to show like that, especially because they were still giving him chances to go up against second and third stringers. You know what I mean? Like, you should have showed. You know what I mean? That you made a lot of improvement. I wasn't expecting you to win every rep, but damn, not look like this.
I would have said, no, coach, I want to play this game. I need to show what I can do. I want to play this game.
I know that if we keep on this subject, we're just gonna stay the whole fucking night on the defensive line. So let's move on to the linebackers. Let's move on to linebackers. I say 5. I would say we keep 5 because I think, or 4 but I think the surprise cut for me would probably surprise other people because I think Luke Masterson is the guy that gets cut, and if we keep 4. So I would say Spillane, Diablo, Eichenberg, and Amari Gaynor. If we keep 4.
Are you saying that because Gaynor came and spiked up, or would you still stick with Masterson?
Gaynor, to me, is a better football player than Luke Masterson.
Exactly. Sometimes that means something, Gabe. Good. Very good.
So I would say Amari Gaynor over Luke Masterson. But if they do go the route and try to keep 5, linebackers, because, AP is a former linebacker and all that shit. So I will say I will probably go Luke Masterson in the 5th spot. I haven't heard anything of Eichenberg in the pup list, but if he is, that's going to be open up a spot for one of them. But Eichenberg will be on this team one way or another by the 5th game. If it's short-term pup.
I'm hearing IR. I'm hearing IR for that guy.
Short-term IR.
I gotta cut you off, Gabe, because you was one of them ones. I don't think people realize what you just said. You were one of those ones that was really high on Amari Burney, and you don't have him on the roster.
No.
Talk about
I don't.
that.
He's too small, bro. He's too small.
I was hoping that his speed and all of that stuff would kind of like stand out, but especially with him kind of being a smaller version of a Spillane. You know what I mean? Like he plays that type of role. So and then you got an Eichenberg who's probably who they're saying is another kind of model of Spillane. You know what I mean? So that's where I think he's kind of like the odd man out at that position where like that Mike linebacker, you're gonna kind of be that odd man out with those other 2 guys in front of you, especially with AP kind of like talking up Eichenberg kind of in the offseason, or you see like his eyes light up when he talks about a guy like that because he likes that dude's instincts. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why I'll go. I do see Bernie though. For sure planning himself on this practice squad. Just in case anything like a Masterson or anybody like that, guys. It's just not. It just keeps descending in his progression. You know what I mean? So I do see Bernie not falling off the just not getting a practice squad spot or anything like that. But I do.
He's still young, though. He's still young. He's young.
Man out.
Yeah. And it wasn't. I wasn't trying to, talk bad about you. I just know you was really, and I was like, ooh, he didn't call this guy out, so obviously he must see something that he. And I agree with you. I think Amari Burney just has not, like I was telling you earlier, you got to get your name called. You know what I'm saying, when you're doing preseason, and I don't think Amari Burney got his name called at all. I think Gaynor definitely every game got his name called in the right way, and I think there's some upside there. You know what I'm saying? I think Gaynor has some things that we haven't even tapped into. When I started looking at his highlight tapes and stuff like that, he's not only just a linebacker that can cover and stuff like that, like a traditional linebacker. He has some pass rush to him. You know what I'm saying? So if Patrick Graham wants to get a little, a little freaky, you know what I'm saying, he can have Gaynor out there, you know what I'm saying, getting after the quarterback. And for me, I got 4 linebackers, especially in this defense, especially when we only tried out primarily 2 linebackers. I think we just need 2 more linebackers. And, I got Spillane, Diablo, Tommy Eichenberg, which was a guy that I was talking about before the draft, and I'm glad we picked him up. And I got Gaynor. So, and Masterson, I think Masterson is a hot and cold situation. I think, there's things that Masterson has done that look really good. And then there was times where he was cold and almost non-existent. Like, was he really on the field? You know what I'm saying? And I put out a video talking about get ready for Masterson because I thought Masterson was going to take that jump. But again, like I said to you earlier, Gabe, his name wasn't getting called. And that means
never
a lot.
does. Never does.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's one of our gripes. That's one of our guys with him. Like, yeah, like he doesn't get called for bad stuff, but he also is very rarely getting called for good stuff either, dog. Like very, very rarely. Like
he's around the tackle, he's standing up, picking guys up off the ground, but he's never in on tackles. And now let me tell you something real quick, Gabe. You know, the reason why I think we've seen a lot of Gainer is that we got some wonderful, wonderful starting tight ends. And these dudes are getting work. Good work on team sessions and practice. No wonder Gainer is balling out. You know what I mean? And that's why I think Bernie would ball out, but he's just so small. He's not that linebacker that could. Gainer was in there. A couple of passes that we got in the middle. You know, they were what's his name was gutting us up. That guy Allen from 49ers was killing us in the middle of the field. That's linebacker drop back play. You know what I mean? So you gotta be. It's not, you're not covering. You just drop back farther in the middle of the field. But these guys, Gainer, I think that he blossomed up because of the good play we have at tight ends, and it's benefited him. You know, we know Diablo could cover. His angles are all messed up, but he makes plays, and then you know the Mike is he's what he is, dude. He's just a damn good linebacker. So I have no questions with the starters. Masterson is gonna make the team, and the reason why I think that is I think Gainer will make the team, but Masterson's gonna be that fourth guy that you guys are talking about. Because he's the only one we got that's been semi-productive. But he seals the run decent, doesn't make a lot of tackles, but he seals the run, and that's what linebackers are supposed to do. So he does his job. He's at the right spots, and coaches see that. Coaches like that. So I think Masterson will still be on the team. We're still gonna have to deal with him another year. But I would put Bernie on the practice squad. I'll keep him around.
Yeah, for sure.
But mind you, with this new special teams play, there's going to be a lot of linebackers because they're big and they're fast. There's going to be a lot of linebackers playing in this new situation we have in special teams that you're going to keep linebackers to take the bigger guys out. You're not going to have fast tackles, you know, not really.
Well, you had a lot of
offensive. Yeah.
You had a lot of situations where Hobbs was playing that linebacker position last year too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That third linebacking position. So you had a lot of situations where Hobbs was doing that. You know what I mean?
Now that we know that Hobbs' backup is Palomao, he moved down to the nickel. That you have a guy that's bigger, faster than Hobbs, but not a better athlete. Maybe. I like Palomao. I did it before. I don't like a lot of USC guys, but he's impressive.
I know.
He's getting better. He's a guy that got better.
He's improved.
So you could tell him growing.
Or
He's behind a guy that's a great, soon to be great nickel.
And we could go there next. We could go next to the safeties, bro. Like, I mean, I think our two guys are there. You know what I mean? They're set in stone. I think Marcus Epps, Trayvon Morig are two guys. You know what I mean? Trayvon Morig looks like he's gonna. I think he's in line for a big year. I think for reals, I think Trayvon Morig is in line for a big year. I don't know why, but I feel like this dude's in line for a great year this year, bro. Like I like kind of almost touching all pro type status, bro. Like I don't know why, but I just see him taking a big leap, which that's saying a lot because I think he had a hell of a year last year. You know what I mean, as a safety. So I think he's going to take even that much more of a leap this year. I don't know why. He's never been one of my favorite players because I was one of the guys that talked shit about him, you know, in his sophomore season when he kind of struggled. But I don't know what it is about him, dog. Like, especially in some of these preseason games, like, he looked like the dude with only, like coming out of the blocks. Like, he looked like he had a fire lit under him. You know what I mean? In some of these games, was around all the tackles, you know what I mean? In that first game against the Vikings, you know what I mean? And it's just, I have a big feeling Morig looks like he's gonna have a big year, you know what I mean? And then I would say, like you said, Isaiah Palomalo will be that third guy, and Christopher Smith made a big play for himself and he did himself a big favor in this last game, dog, with that interception. You know what I mean? Because that was you know, a lot of the times where it's a tip ball where it's a tough ball to catch. You know what I mean? It changed directions and all that shit. He kept his concentration, dove for it, caught it, got up, had the awareness to kind of run it down the field and pick up big yardages. So I will say we keep 4 safeties. I think Trey Taylor is a draft pick, but I think he might, for all of his shit with in the preseason and him being hurt recently, he might be one of those guys that, like, I think they might use that stash thing, like that one thing where they could stash him and put him on the PUP list and stash him for the whole year. You know what I mean? He might be one of those guys, a Dalton Wagner type of guy, a Sincere McCormick type of guy, where they stashed those guys for a year. They redshirted them basically for a year. I think Trey Taylor is going to be that guy. I don't think he gets an actual roster spot.
I think Trey Taylor's gone. Christopher Smith. I've been on this dude. He got better. Morig, those 2 that we have back there are they're just playing such good coverages that nobody gets us deep, and that's their job. And to come up and make tackles, we don't have a problem with none of them doing that. We got 2 good safeties back there, and then I don't know why everybody complains that Epps is this and that. Epps is a baller, bro, for our defense. He's a baller. AP will tell you that.
He is, bro. Solid. So he's solid.
There's nothing wrong with Epps. Chris Smith, Palomau, you can put him there as a safety, but that's your 4, bro. That's your 4 right there. And then Trey Tucker is what you said. I wouldn't save him. Even I don't care what you did in college.
Who?
What are you doing for Trey Tucker? For Trey
Taylor.
Guy from the Trey Taylor, the guy from the.
No, but I say, like, the only reason I say that is because if you're gonna probably stash a guy away, because he's a rookie, if you're gonna stash a guy away and you have the ability to be able to do that, because I think you could do that too. I don't know how many guys have that, how many roster spots, not roster guys, but before the season starts, if you put a guy on the pup list, you can stash him away for pretty much the whole season.
Yeah,
like a red shirt,
like we did with the 3 guys.
So I think if anybody's a candidate for that, it's probably Trey Taylor, because he's been hurt and they already had him on that PUP type, unable to perform.
That's an option for him. That's an option for him. Yeah, I agree with that. I'll put him in that. But as far as playing, he's not ready. He's not ready.
No, for sure, no.
He's a development guy,
What do you? How many guys do you think, Tuan?
You know what? To be honest with you, I think they, as much as it's traditional to take 4 at the moment, I think they might take 5. And it's not Trey, but I'm taking Grant on that last spot. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I got Epps, Merrick, Palomau, Smith, and Grant. And the reason why I'm going 5 is because if Palomau is coming down, you know what I'm saying? We've had issues with, our favorite nickel corner and his injuries. So if Palomau ends up being that slot corner for us, and Patrick Graham still wants to run, a 3 safety set, you're going to need an extra, you know what I'm saying? You're going to need an extra safety just in the wings. You know what I'm saying? So, in that situation, Palomau slides down, and now
that hybrid role. They like that hybrid role where linebacker, corner type role. Like you could play a linebacker, nickel corner type role with Palomau. You can, or
you got to look at when was Hobbs getting hurt, Twan? When he played corner. He's never got hurt when he played nickel. You know what I mean? He never got hurt when he played nickel. He always got hurt when he played corner. He was the best. He's the best athlete in a cornerback room, a DB room, but he's not a cornerback.
Jack Jones has a lot of
Well,
say
Jack
about that.
Jones took over that spot, but he took one side. The other side, that's where Hobbs was at.
I get that, Gravy,
Hey.
and I understand that he has those capabilities, but I can't hang my hat on that because of the injury bug, whether he was on the outside or whether he's playing on the inside.
That's why we got corners.
What do we got backing him up if he does get hurt? It would be Palomar. So
Yeah.
you would need another safety if Patrick Graham wants to run the 3 safety set that he normally does with the 2 linebackers. He usually does the 2 linebackers and then he has the 3 safeties doing what they do. So you're going to need an extra safety. So that's why I'm taking 5 in this situation.
Okay. And shit, that leaves the corners only. That leaves only corners left. You know what I mean? That's the cornerbacks for me. Of course, Jack. You know what I mean? You got Jack. You got Nate Hobbs, what we've been talking about. I honestly think we keep 7. But I don't. It's gonna be Jack, Chakorian, Nate Hobbs. I think we keep DeCamarion Richardson. You know, he is. I think he's the guy that we drafted this year. I'm not. You know what? Actually, maybe 6, just because we might. I don't think if anybody doesn't stick around from the rookie class, it might be Devonshire. He just did not have a great preseason.
Yeah,
I don't know about, like, I wanted him to stick around. Like, he would be my 7th guy if they do keep 7. But I like Sam Webb as that 6th guy.
Finally, the respect,
especially
Sam Webb.
Based on, you know, on IR, and we've never seen him. If they don't go out, you know, and try to go out, because I mean, AP did say that they might go out and look in the waiver wire in this position. But as far as, like we were saying earlier, the guys that we have on our team, and, you know, tomorrow for the 53, I think Sam Webb would probably be a guy that makes it if they go with 6 tomorrow. Like, Sam would be my 6th guy for sure tomorrow.
We know that Lattimore is gonna be out there, bro. I got a feeling. Now, you could get rid of 2 of them guys and then have Lattimore there.
I heard they've been in constant talks for what's his name, the linebacker from over there, the one that I was talking about last time, Mario Davis. They've been in constant talks with that, like they're trying to get that shit done, but there's still no word on it. But who knows, man? Tomorrow's gonna be a big day. Gonna be a lot of cuts. Teams are gonna need to know where they're gonna need a little bit of help, especially with a lot of names out there. So tomorrow's gonna be interesting for sure. But those
I
will
think,
be.
I think this is the room. I think this is the room that they're talking about the most right here is corners.
That would round out my 53. Those 6 guys would round out my 53 right there.
I got a couple more to go, I think. I think I got 4 more players.
After the you still need
I got less quarterbacks, less running backs. I had less linemen. No, we had 10 linemen, right?
Yeah, you had actually two more linemen. You said 10. Oh no, you had 10. We had 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you caught up one that you would have like another guy to go where you see, like in your case, you would probably be able to designate a guy like a Tyreek Wilkerson if you had an extra spot available like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you probably be able to designate him as that. But
well, I think Wilkerson's on the team, bro. Wilkerson made the team. Shit, there's no doubt in my mind.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you probably wouldn't be able to designate him as just label him as a kick returner. You know what I mean? You would have to put him in some position group, which that's what I'm saying. I was like, I had 6 guys left. That's why I say 6. I mean, 7, I don't think they're going to get to 7. There's no way they get to 7 because, well, in my case, that wouldn't be possible because there's not 54 spots. So Sam Webb would probably be that 53rd guy, but on the verge of.
We still got that guy from Australia on our team.
Who? Australia.
Where's he from? He's from Europe, and you get an extra roster spot if he's on the squad.
Oh,
or something.
David Agoa.
Oh no, he got cut today. He got let go today.
Well, that's an extra dude you can keep plus him. So
But he didn't even count.
Yeah, he didn't count because he was.
That's a free watcher spot you get if he's in a rotation. If he does, what you never know. That's a free watcher spot right there, Twan. You can have 54 players in.
I think they waived him today, though.
Well, they waived Wu Governor.
Yeah, I was high on him.
I was one of the names earlier too.
I didn't think I thought he might make the practice squad. He might come back and make the practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't. I know there's a lot of Chris and them and Turf and them. They interview the guy, so they're gonna roll with him. But he made some pretty good little tackles. He get hit, But I don't want my. I've said it. I steadily say this game is that I don't want my corners tackling people. I want them to come up and lay the wood when a play breaks up like that. But every play, a corner shouldn't be making your tackle. That means there's something wrong with your defense. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's what safety. That's what Hobbs is there for.
Yeah, Spillane. That's what Diablo's there for. And that's what those guys are
there for. All they do is cover. They cover.
Yeah.
They're supposed to cover. And then, DCAM makes the squad because he can cover, he can tackle, but he's not the ball hawk. He didn't have any interceptions in college. Now I wondered that
JB's going to play a big role this year, though. I think he's going to be a much improved player, bro.
He needs to. He got better, so he deserves his spot. I've always been a Bennett. Bennett can cover. You've seen that on them deep routes. Ain't no one gonna go deep on us because you got fast dudes. And Jack Jones, he's so instinctive that you try to double move him, he don't go for it. JB will, but usually Epps is on his, give him some help. So Graham is knowing his players now. So, I think Cam will go in there. D-Cam will go in there as a corner when JB messes up, or if or he gets hurt or something like that. But it's going to take that for that guy to play. And I don't think anybody's going to go in for Jack Jones unless he gets hurt. But if we're in that type of situation, then we're going to be. If Jack Jones ends up leaving the field in any way, we're going to be up shit creek.
Well, I think that's why I think we kind of acknowledge that. And I think AP kind of acknowledged that too, because he said they are going to look at the waiver. They're going to look at every opportunity to get better at that, because they asked him about the IR situation with Brandon Faison, with him not being available no more, or are they going to go look elsewhere? And he said they are going to exhaust everything. You know what I mean? So that sounds very, very promising that they're going to go out and look. You know what I mean?
Exhausting everything, will go try to get Lattimore.
Or go get a Dory Jackson even.
I'm gonna be very mad if we have Brandon Faison on this roster.
No, I think he's on IR. I think he got moved to IR. If anything, I think he got probably moved to IR today or something like that.
Okay, yeah, I'm like, we better not be holding this spot just to have Brandon Faison, because I think time is up on him. I really like. You know what I'm saying? As much as some people may like him or whatever, I think time is up on him. Like, we can't wait for you to be, this was your time to show and prove, what you can do. We can't wait for you to be injured and stuff like that. That's why I'm sitting here struggling. You know what I'm saying? I got 5 corners. You know what I'm saying? I got Jack Jones, Hobbs, Bennett, D-Cam, and Webb. I think Webb stepped up this year. You know what I'm saying? I think Webb. I don't want to say he fully got his name called, but he was getting in the action. You know what I'm saying?
You put Devonshire on a practice squad. You can't get rid of Devonshire.
You know what? To be honest with you, the way that Devonshire has played, and where we drafted him, if we get him on a practice squad, cool. but I'm not gonna be mad if he ain't here. Because I think winter came early. You know what I'm saying? Chestnuts was roasting on an open fire when he was gardening. You know what I'm saying? And of course, yeah, he still has room to grow, but in perspective, he was only a 7th rounder. So are we gonna miss? You know what I'm saying? Are we gonna really miss that? That's the question. So practice squad's cool, but if they just say enough's enough, and he didn't show enough, I'm not gonna be mad at that either.
Well, boo-hoo to the people that bought Devonshire jerseys already, because what was he, the Deion Sanders 2.0 or something?
D-Cam looks. It looks like there was, because there was talk about them, kind of performing in camp, but damn, that once these actual games came across, and when they were, across from, 3rd, 4th string, the lights came on. He didn't look that good. So he's for sure gonna have to get used to that.
I thought Woo Governor played better than Devonshire, but Woo Governor is more of what the coach is, and I know the coach that coaches the DBs. I've met him before. He's a friend of mine's.
Ricky?
Good friend. Huh?
Ricky
Manning, yeah. And Ricky Manning was a badass corner. So he was physical. He was smaller, on the smaller side, but he's a real big guy. And Will Governor reminds me of him more than Devonshire does. And it looks like that's the type physical guys he wants, but taller. That's why you got DCAM, because he was a physical guy. And then JB was a physical guy. Jack Jones is everything, physical, ball hog, everything. So those are Ricky Manning's type dudes. I don't see DJ playing like that or he's more of a finesse. There's nothing wrong with that. He's a good corner, but I see, when I see Will Governor on the wave list, I go, damn, that must have been hard for Ricky Manning to let go right there because he's a physical guy. But
yeah,
if they want to cover, I guess Patrick Graham wants to cover.
I was high on Will.
You look at the quarterbacks we play, they throw.
All right.
And
tomorrow we're gonna find out though. We're gonna find out real soon, though, because less than 12, give it like a little bit more than 12 hours. Those things should be almost set. You know what I mean? They should be set. You know what I mean? So
1 o'clock, we find out our roster. See what surprises me.
And we find out who becomes available. I mean, who becomes available, especially with 35 million available. You know what I mean? Because they haven't made any, or even like there hasn't even been really talks about them sitting down and like possibly, extending some guys or anything like that, because I think that's probably more planned for the offseason. I think whatever money they have right now, not all of it, don't get me wrong, not all of it, but I think they're going to use some of it towards helping out the club for this year in an area where they might need it. And only it's not going to be something where they compromise themselves, to multiple years. It's going to be something where they bring in a guy for a year, prove yourself type shit, where it won't hurt us in the next, in the future. Like if he balls out, good. If it's a one of those contracts where if he balls out, great. You know what I mean? Like that's perfect. We'll talk in the off season, but it won't hurt us. It won't hurt our salary cap thing. So I think that there's going to be a lot of opportunities for that tomorrow, because there's going to be some good names become available.
Yeah.
What's your surprise cut? Gabe? That'll say what?
Who would be my surprise cut out of anybody? I would say the most, like me. Let's see. Out of the guys that I say will make the team right now,
because you know that AP, even on the press conferences, he wasn't happy with that defense.
So I would say either Pete or Luke Masterson. Those would be my surprise cuts. Andres Pete or Luke Masterson. Those will be my guys. The two names that I would say on the offense and the defense. Well, I would say surprise cuts if we cut them because they're more likely kind of like not penciled in, but those were guys that were kind of brought in to make the team, for sure. You know what I mean? Especially because they got signed in the offseason as a free agent. And not Luke Masterson, but he's been in this a guy that's been in here who was a starter. You know what I mean? At one point in time. So I think that would kind of be a surprise cut. But Andres Pete was, brought in here because he's a veteran who knew his shit. But I would say between them two guys.
Pete and Masterson. So basically, in certain situations, Masterson's a starter, and Pete is a second string tackle. So
because
those are big waves right there, bro.
The only reason I say Masterson is because they might have seen enough in Gainer to play that role. Do you see a lot better of a player in Masterson than Gainer?
Longevity and being in the system a few more years than Gainer was. No, I think Gainer would take it. I wouldn't be surprised if Masterson gets tossed. Masterson's not going to be on a practice squad. He's either going to be that's it or he's going to play.
Yeah, but I would say those two guys. One of those two guys would.
Because he's the first linebacker that goes in. He's the first linebacker that goes in when you're in a certain situation, and can Gainer take that role? What's yours, Duan?
You know what?
Okay.
As much as I was very high on him coming out the draft, my surprise would be Nesta. Because if Nesta gets cut, my favorite word, and for those that know me, then what? Like, we can't go into this season relying on Jenkins. I love Jenkins. I love Jenkins as a player, but just him alone, that's dangerous.
Then why get rid of Nesta?
So that's why I'm saying it would be a surprise cut.
Yeah, okay.
And so would you be upset though if they kept Byron Young over Nesta?
I think that would be politics more than anything because Byron Young is a higher draft pick over Nesta, but that's a tough situation.
Was it the same draft? Was it the same draft they were picked in the same draft?
I believe so.
I believe so. No, but that would be quick because Matthew Butler also too. They Byron Young, Matthew Butler, Nesta J. They kind of both they had their moments in this last game. All of them. I would say all of them because even there was one play where Byron Young went in there on a double team, held his ground. You know what I mean, and clogged up the lane and shit like that. And that's what you want to see in your big guy. You know what I mean? Be able to take on a double team like that and not get moved. You see him fucking. I guess I seen a breakdown. I'm not too sure who it was. I wish I could give him credit right now, but I seen a breakdown of that play too, especially with Byron Young, where he was getting double teamed like that. Now, like he took not one step back. Like he just dipped his leg. Where that's what you're taught as a defensive lineman to drop that anchor. You know what I mean? Drop the knee, drop the anchor, and he held up both offensive linemen, bro, and not he stood his ground. So you kind of see plays like that where if he could do that more often, that would be good because that's what's needed to in the run game, especially to stop the run. But Nesta J would be kind of surprised for me because like I said earlier, that's the familiarity, I think he has worked himself up to be a better player than he was last year because kind of was a little bit different when I don't know what it was between him and McDaniels, but like that shit was just not a good. But it kind of lingered over.
Didn't he?
Yeah, and it lingered over.
If those pick message Aiden and he's it.
And it lingered over with AP too, because AP's the one that ended up cutting him. You know what I mean? He's the one that ended up the one that ended up letting go off. Obviously, he's the one that re-signed them to the practice squad later on. But it was like, I think that was a big learning experience for Nesta. You know what I mean? So that's what I think and I think that's where Nesta kind of picked it up. You did see him pick it up. He was making some plays in this preseason too. You know what I mean? So you can't discount his effort either, bro, regardless of where any of these guys were picked. But that would be surprising if they kept Byron Young over Nesta.
Yeah, I would be surprised too. Well, mine is that I think you're right, Gabe. You enlightened me with that I think AP has a soft spot for Masterson. And that made me think a little bit. You know, you can't do that as a coach. You got to get the best player. And if Gainer outbeat him, outplayed him, start Gainer. So, but can you afford the gameplay and the reps that Masterson has? And with Gainer, that really doesn't have anything but really preseason.
So fucking it comes out here.
And then my other one is what Twan said. He threw a name out there that I didn't want to say because I don't want to put. I've always liked him, and it's Webb. I think one of these young guys is gonna take Webb's spot, and then for no reason at all. That Webb is a good corner. When him and Hall were here, him and Hall were our corners, our backup corners. I thought that was our next phase of badass corners.
Well, he made that play for that interception. I know Chris Smith got the interception, but he made the play on that interception.
He made the play. He covered him, and he can do that. He does it all the time he's in there, and I don't know why he doesn't.
That was on Purdy too.
I don't know why he doesn't get enough props for that, but maybe AP will dig in his soft spot and keep Webb around. But though that having Webb gone will be a very big surprise for me. I think Faison's gone, like either IR or PUP for a year. That's 2 years with this guy. We depend so much on 1 year he had as a Raider that he's gonna do it again. Was it a couple of games? Was it a couple of years?
Really, like his first couple of games that he came on the scene, he filled in really good, and I think that's what the Raider fans kind of got onto it really,
I understand
quick.
That, bro. I understand how we as fans have this little tingle in us. We can't get rid of Faison. He's a veteran presence. To me, veteran presence is a guy like it's not Faison to me. You got Jack Jones there. Jack Jones balls out. That's enough veteran presence. And I've always said, if you ain't got that inner dog in you already, you don't need Marcus Peters. You don't need these guys to show you how to be a football player. You know what I mean? They know already how to do it. And then just listen to Graham, listen to AP, listen to your coach. That's enough. That's enough guys right there to teach you what to do. And it looks like some of these guys are learning that, like Hall and DCam and JB. But Masterson and Gainer, they're getting that from somebody. They're getting that from somebody. So those two guys, and then I also think I agree with you, Gabe. I think Pete, because of the emergence of Wagner, in my book, as far as growing and hoping and wishing that Miller goes a full season. And you won't see him that much, so he can develop. And he got a good defensive front to practice against. He has a good offensive lineman that's showing him the ropes. And so I depend on that. So I would think he would be out, or Meredith will be out. But it won't be a surprise if Meredith is gone. It'll be a surprise if Pete is.
Yeah, that's why I said that would be one of my surprise cuts if that happens.
But Masterson's the big one. Masterson's the big one that I would say either yes, we're changing we're not going back to our old ways of having dudes stick around. And then you get rid of Sincere, get rid of Britton Brown. You know, we don't need them. We don't need those guys. We hyping ourselves up just for that. You know, we shouldn't be talking about that.
But yeah, man, that's But I know tomorrow. I don't know. I know we have another live setup for tomorrow too at 8:00 too. Shit. So we're gonna talk about this shit. Who we were wrong on. Who are the actual
That's the bitching live right there. We're all gonna bitch. Why did this guy get cut? Why did that guy?
Who are the actual? Who are actual? Yeah, exactly. Who are the actual guys got cut? Oh shit! Who knows? We might get everything right. You never know. You never know. We just might get it. I do think that
we know what we're talking about.
I think no, but I do think that it's a lot of guys that are set. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of really guys that it's a handful of guys really that they're making big tough decisions on. To be honest, I think that's what it is. It's just a handful of guys that they're making tough decisions on. That's why it will be a surprise cuts, you know, with those names that I named. But I think there's a lot of guys that are kind of set in stone. There's really like 45 to like 48 guys set in stone. I think it's like a good 5 to 8 guys that are like we're really on the front, on the fence. You know what I mean? That are, you know, it is going to be that. I think the talk around tonight is going to be around those guys. You know what I mean? And I really do. I really hope that it is the guys that we said today. You know what I mean? The gainers. You know what I mean? The Tyreek McAllister. You know what I mean? Like those type of guys. The Wilkersons. You know what I mean? Of the world. Just all of those guys. Hopefully they make the team. Like the Snowden. I named, you know, that guy Charles Snowden. Like I think hopefully he could be part of this 53 and make his fucking, you know, fucking, that'll be a dream. I know that'll be his fucking dream, bro. Because it's like
all they need is a shot, Gabe. All they need is a shot. They got to take advantage of it.
It's just gonna be interesting tomorrow. Yeah. Who gets cut? Who doesn't? Now,
Nesta Jade and Gainer are one of the 2 guys that took advantage of that. Those reps that they got. So,
I mean, you know, another surprise one would be, which we talked about earlier, Dele Lobby. That could be a surprise one too.
He didn't do enough. He didn't do enough when he had the opportunity, and he did the worst thing he could do. You know, when he didn't come back in that game, I expected him to come back, but it either was I don't want to get this guy hurt, or it was I'm done with him already.
And it's just like you've seen. I know AP says that it wasn't that decided the factor of him choosing the starting quarterback or anything like that, but you know that was regardless if he didn't say it was a big factor, it was a factor in that talks that night of why they went with Minshew because of that interception, bro. Like that was a big interception and a pick 6 like that, which you could tell that's the turnovers is going to be a big factor. Turning the ball over, it looks like will not be tolerated. You know, so that could be a surprise one too.
Look at AP's reaction when Lobby lost the ball, and of course she's gonna be upset, but you can tell, bro. You can tell, like, shit. You know what I mean? You're looking up in the air, going.
Hopefully not, man.
It deflates you.
He is only a rookie. You know, you do get that there was more probably expectations on that game, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. That's the only thing. But if he sticks around, I wouldn't be mad either. If he sticks around, I wouldn't be mad either because he is young. Right. He does have flashes, bro. He does have flashes. You can see it. Like if he can put it together, he does show that he has moves. Like, can he get better at reading the tackle, being more patient and shit like that? I think that's something he could work on. You know what I mean? Can he get stronger? Yeah, I think he can get stronger with, you know, the strength and conditioning with Deuce, you know, being with Deuce, you know what I mean? So it's like, can he put a little bit more weight on, like you said earlier? Like, I think he can do those things. So, like, are they willing to be patient with him a little bit? You know what I mean? He is a later on draft pick, so I know that there's not that much there won't be that much patience. You know what I mean? But because the price tag will always tell you how patient to be. You know what I mean? So,
and Gabe, we seen DJ Turner, bro. He's a little dude. Remember when we seen him at Bakersfield?
Yeah.
And even Jacoby's small.
Tucker's small.
Yeah. DJ Tucker's Trey Tucker's little, but I don't know if he's smaller than DJ, but DJ Turner's a little dude. And they're not massive human beings. Like, you look at Devontae. Devontae's cut up, but he's not a big guy. He's not mass. You don't have DK Metcalf running up to you going, God damn, you know what I mean? Or Megatron dude, guys like that. He's not. We don't have a guy like that. But Wilkerson's that type guy. Gayton's a big guy. Keaton's a big guy. So
big.
The wide receiver room might be a little bit more players than running backs or shit like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure. That's the least is it. That's gonna be interesting. What up, D Manis? What's cracking? Yeah, but hey, man, I know it's gonna get late. I know I gotta get up early in the morning, but I had to do this show because I wanted to, at least get a little projections in, for our 53. I know this wasn't an expected show, but damn, I love the turnout, man. At one point we had over 90 people in the chat. You know what I mean? Thank you, Twan. You know what I mean? Thank you, Twan. We got to get you on here more often, bro. Especially, we're gonna be doing a lot more Smokeout hours and shit like that, more shows, just a lot more stuff, man. We get Twan incorporated and stuff. You know what I mean? And then Gravy. You know what I mean? Always good to have you, man. You know what I mean? Part of the Raider Nation Live squad. You know what I mean?
I rushed back, bro, just to be on your show, bro.
For sure, man. But hey, everybody, thanks everybody. Twan, do you have anything in coming out? Any shows coming out soon? Anything like that? Well,
Yeah, I'm actually I took some time off for personal reasons, and those that know or whatever stuff like that. But we're actually this week is we back, not full force, but we'll be back. Raider Twan on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Get it going. I'm actually again still on the goal for 500 subscribers by week 1. So if you can help me get there, you know what I'm saying, you might get a chance of winning some game day shoes, which are some black Air Forces. So you definitely want to do that. It's completely free, and you might get some shoes in it. This week I will be going live. That's right. I'll be live on Wednesday. New time and new day. 2 for One Nation podcast with my brother Eric from the SE Raiders Talk. We will be live on Wednesday at 6 p.m. That's the new time that we got going. So you definitely do want to be there on Wednesday, either on Raider SE Raiders Talk or Raider Twan. Either one will be simulcasting, and we'll be breaking down, the team that you love, which is the Raiders. I share this, and I really do mean this. Those that need prayer for you and your family members, hit me up on IG at Twan TWUAN. Again, your business is between me, you, and the Lord. I don't put your business out there in the street, so you ain't got to worry about that. Just hit me up, and let me pray for whatever's going on in your life. So hit me up on IG. And for those content creators, I work with all content creators, and I mean all content creators. So hit me up on IG if you are interested in having me on your show. And if I'm definitely available, I will, just like Raider Gabe did. You know what I'm saying? He sent me the link, and I showed up. So definitely hit me up on IG so I can be a part of your show and talk some of this Raider football.
Is there? That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about.
I don't think SC likes me anymore, bro. He tells me no.
He tells you no.
Jumped out of my fantasy. I got a big soft spot for SC.
Gotta love him.
I remember back in the days when he was just a mic. That's all you see.
Oh yeah, like this. That was SC. Yeah. Nah, but hey. I'm great for shit. I think I checked out SC's show I think the other day too. Yeah, he was SC looks like he's back on his grind again. Yeah, I mean, he's
got better
doing
games.
shows
He got
again.
real good games.
Yeah, doing shows again. Good content over there, man. That's great to see, man. Yeah, man. And like I said, bro, thanks for everybody. Still 70 people in the chat. You know what I mean? Like, so, hey, man, I'm thankful for all the support. I know we're only just gonna keep doing more and more things. You know what I mean? Tomorrow we got another show to react to the actual 53, to break down the actual roster spots. See, hey, who knows, man? And then break down. You know what I mean? Like, possible, pickups for us. You know what I mean? But possible guys that we might look at. You know what I mean? Because it just keeps going, man. The content that never stops. So we're just gonna keep giving you guys content on what we think is best for the team and whatever, just our opinion, man. And you can rock with us or you cannot rock with us. But if you agree or not agree, man, put your stuff in the chat, man. And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that shit and we'll break it down. You know what I mean? There's no need to fucking be, you know what I mean? There's no need to be like, this was talking this, like, hey, we can all have our own opinion. We talk it out. We could agree to disagree. And then, but the one thing we could all agree on is we want the fucking Raiders to be good. That's it, man. We just want to win. Just win, baby. That's it. And that's basically it, bro. And like I said, man, always, this is the Smokeout Hour. So I will be taking a rip out of this. But hey, if you guys got anything left to say, man, say what's up. So, Gravy? Got anything, Gravy?
So, Raider Nation Live tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll probably do a reaction show. But I got football, and I'll holler at you guys after. But I just see my daughter right now, so I'll be muted real quick. So, but I'll come back on if you guys talk for a minute.
No, I just gotta take a little rip, finish the show off, with the cool little rip, and how we always finish our shows. You know what I mean? So let me just take a rip real quick. How I started is how I finished. And you know what I mean? I know Gravy's, a little bit busy right now, but we always end it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, always, man. Let's go, man.